In the second video, we're gonna look at, does fair trade coffee actually help farmers? The fair trade scheme began by trying to help poor coffee farmers, and coffee remains one of the main products under fair trade. Starbucks is the biggest buyer and seller of fair trade coffee. So if you look at Starbucks, their coffee is fair trade, right? Your Starbucks, every latte, every cappuccino, 100% fair trade coffee. Okay, you'll see the logo on Starbucks coffee in various places, like on the cup. However, does fair trade actually help the poor coffee farmers? So some people complain that it only helps the rich farmers who can meet its strict rules. Right? So fair trade has a lot of rules that the farmers have to follow so that they get the better price and all the benefits of fair trade. But the really poor farmers, right? Often they can't meet those standards or those rules, right? So they complain that it does not help farmers. And also the other complaint is that it does not help farmers improve the quality of their coffee, which would help them to get a higher price. So we're going to look at a video now where they point out that fair trade actually does not help farmers improve the quality of their coffee. And so they can't get the better price, because the better the quality of their coffee, the higher the price. So let's have a look at that.
Yeah, Starbucks is big. Proud to remind us that they're the biggest buyer of fair trade coffee in the world. Yep, 100% fair trade. They even warn us against buying a cheap cup of coffee that's not fair trade. So fair trade coffee equals the best coffee in the world, right? Well, maybe not. The fair trade system was created in 1997 to combat problems that plagued growers of commodities like cocoa, sugar, and coffee, starting with making sure that they received a fair price for their products.
Behind every Fairtrade certified label is a rigorous certification process, which means you can feel confident knowing you're living your values with each purchase.
But as the Starbucks on every corner proves, the market has changed, transforming this once humble eye-opener into a specialty item like wine. And lots of people in the industry, from growers to independent retailers, believe the organizations overseeing fair trade have failed to wake up and smell the coffee.
We don't have that voice. Everything is decided there. The external inspectors comes as a policeman here. Doesn't want any negotiation. Say these are the rules. Rule 1, rule 2, rule 3. Our voices are not heard in fair trade.
The difficulty for us is that people's perception of fair trade is that this is the best way to do things. So when somebody comes into the shop and says, do you stock fair trade coffee? And I say, no, we don't. It's very difficult to not lose them after that point.
These days, to get the great cup of coffee that many of us crave, you need to start with the best beans, sold at auctions like this one in Kenya. The better the beans, the higher the price, which means instead of relying on fair trade pricing protections, farmers could make more money by growing better beans and getting them certified as specialty coffee beans.
The fair trade really only open up the supply chain, but they don't add any value to it. Companies like ours and many others and NGOs are working with the producers down at the farm level to improve their processes so that they are producing a better and more uniform coffee, which has, by definition, a much higher value.
One of the ways a grower can get their coffee certified as specialty is through the Specialty Coffee Association of America, which uses testers like Kelly Amoroso to grade the quality of the beans.
84.5. So that's my highest scoring coffee.
There's 3 different criteria. One is evaluating coffees in the cup. If a coffee scores 80 points or up, it's considered specialty. Another standard to evaluate green to determine if a coffee is specialty or not is depending on how many defects you find in the coffee. And then finally, in roast, we also evaluate the roast of the coffee, and if there's any immature beans, those are also discounted. So specialty coffees usually are clean. They have a sweet aftertaste. They're free of defect. They have something unique about them.
Farmers who get their coffee certified as specialty will discover lots of store owners are more than willing to pay much higher prices than the farmers would get under Fairtrade certification.
What we try to do is to work closely with farmers and give them a price that's based on quality and help them achieve a better quality. So some of the coffees that we source, I mean, we will have paid the farmers like twice, 3 times, 4 times, sometimes up to 10, 20 times what the Fairtrade price for coffee is.
And each one can produce its own specialty coffee. That is what adds value to the farmer.
So, if the coffee growers are getting their best beans certified as specialty to make the most money, what beans are being certified as fair trade? This guy? Since the fair trade label says nothing about the coffee's quality, the taste of a fair trade certified cup of Java might not be as grande as it's served up to be. So, the effort continues to brew to get farmers to grow better beans so they can get their fair share of the lucrative specialty coffee business.
It's a completely symbiotic relationship, and it benefits us, it benefits the farmer, and also benefits the customer, because ultimately they get a better cup of coffee.